times 3, and then they got 6. So they went 2 times 3, and that was 6. Now every time is a times 3, so now I'm going to go 6 times 3, and I get 18. You can see that's right here. Now it's going to go 18 times 3. If you did that, 18 times 3, right? You know, you guys know how to do 2-digit times 1. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So it's 54. Okay, so that's this number. Now you need to take 54 times 3. Okay, so this is where we're going to be using our scratch paper. Because one thing that I forgot to highlight up here was they want you to do the next 3 numbers. Okay, so we're supposed to find the next 3 numbers in the pattern. So right now we're going to work on finding the first number, which is 54 times 3. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to figure out my next number, 54 times 3. Then I'm going to write that number right here. And then I have to figure out 2 more numbers because I have to figure out the next 3 numbers in each of these. So if you want to just right now go 1, 2, 3, so that you know you're figuring out the next 3 numbers in the pattern. All right, let's do our first one. 54 times 3. Go up and over. So 3 times 4, 12. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 162. That's my first number. Once I get that number, what do I need to do to get to the next number? I have to take 162 times 3. So it's up, over, isn't it? Okay. And then when I get that answer, let's do that one together. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So I got 486. Every time I'm doing that times 3. So now I'm going to take my 486 times 3, and I'm going to let you guys do that one on your own, up, over, right? To get your last number. Now, when you get to number 2, it's not multiplication. Our rule is add 30. So if I checked all of these numbers, I can see that they did a plus 30 every time. Okay, write that in there so that I can see that you're understanding that every time they're going up 30. So guess what happens when they get to the end? That's where your work starts. So your first problem is going to be 235. Feel free to use your own scratch paper as long as you share it with me. 235 plus 30. And then you're going to get your first answer, aren't you? You're good at doing the plus like that. So 5 plus 0, 5. 3 plus 3, 6. 2 plus nothing is 2. That gives me my first number. Once I have that, I can get my next number, can't I? Because I take this answer and I do it again. 265 plus 30. That'll give me my second number. When I get that one, I'm going to use that one to get my last number. You guys can do that. All right, let's look down at number 3. It says use the rule to find the first. Look at our rule is add 25. Use the rule to find the first 10 terms in the pattern. Okay. So we know that the first term, when they say term, they mean number. First term is where your pattern is starting. You're starting with 12. Okay, and then they want you to add 25. You know what, you guys? I'm going to just say, let's do the next 5 numbers, okay? Because I'll still know that you understand how to do it. So we're going to find 12, and then we're going to make 5 blanks. Because we're going to be running out of room anyway. 4, 25. And we know that our rule is add 25 every time. So what's my first problem going to be? 12 plus 25. Got lots of white space over here to do my work. 5 plus 2, 7. 2 plus 1 is 3. Next number is 37. Okay, then I need to take that 37 and every single time I'm adding 25. Find some more white space. 37 plus 25 again. Okay, so you're going to keep adding 25 until you get to the end. You guys can finish that up. Let's look at number 4. It says make a table to solve. Jay saves $2 in June, $4 in July, $6 in August, and $8 in September. So they want you to make a little, I think a T-chart is going to work really well for that. Okay, so let's make it. We're going to go over to the side and make a little chart. Okay, so I'm going to try to write a little smaller because I know we might need a little bit of room down below for our number 5 and 6. So let's make our chart over here. Just make a T chart. Just looks like a T. Okay, here I have my dollars. Here I have the month. All right, and he starts saving in June. He does June, July, August, September, October, November, and they want us to go all the way to December. Okay, so now we can go and we can fill in our chart by looking at the information that's already in the story problem. So he saves $2 in June. Let's start here, June, $2. And if you want to write all your months in, we can abbreviate. July, August, September, October, because they want us to go all the way to December. November, December. You should be writing this on your paper as well. Anytime I write something, you also write it. Okay, so we go back. We did $2 in June. He did $4 in July. He did $6 in August. Who can see a pattern right now? What is he going up by every time? He's counting by, did you say 2s? I hope you did. Okay, and then he had $8 in September. Okay, now I'm going to leave you with this final question. It says, if the pattern continues, how much money will he have by December? You can do your count bys, and then you're going to write your answer on your line right here, and your $sign is your label. So finish that one up. Down below, we also did these last year, I remember. So you are going to tell what comes next in the pattern. Okay, so you need to figure it out. Okay, here I have a T, then I have an upside down T, then an upside down T, then a regular T, then an upside down, then an upside down. So I want you to figure out what comes next. Okay, and then you're actually going to draw that shape right in this area right here. Okay, that's fine. It says you have to describe it in words, but as long as you draw it, I'm fine. Okay, and then number 6, they have some cool little zigzags here. What I like to do is I like to figure out how many squares are on the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Then what's happening? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. Okay, and figure out what the next one's going to be. I think you're going to want to draw that like down here because there's not a lot of room on your paper. So I want you to actually draw this one out with the squares of what the next one's going to look like. Okay, and use these numbers to help you. I would do that all along here and help you figure it out. And then meet me on the back page when you're ready. Good job, guys. All right, we are on our remembering side. Yay! Hopefully stuff we remember, right? I see some factor pairs down here that I'm going to talk about in a second, but let's look at the top. All right, we have 2 subtraction problems. Okay, we're good to go there. Please remember to borrow when you need to and don't borrow if you don't need to. I'm looking at this one here, number 2. 9 take away 9, 1 take away 1. I don't need to borrow there. Only borrow when you need to. Okay. I have 2 story problems. I think you guys will be great here. Okay. Do both of those. When you get down to the factor pairs, I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to do those together. Okay. These are, remember, factor pairs are 2 numbers that you times that equal this number. And so the first one, they both have 2 pairs. Okay, so I always know when it's a kind of a number. Remember we talked about prime and composite? Okay, and we talked about how we can do, if the number is 55, 1, I can always times 1 times 55. Okay, that would be one of the pairs. Okay, I'm going to see if you guys can figure out there's one more pair, something times something, and I want you to use your multiplication table, and I want you to look at it, and I want you to find a pair of numbers that when you times them, you get 55. I know you can do it. Okay, and then for 14, same thing. One of the pairs is 1 times 14. That's one of them. I want you to figure out the other factor pair. Okay, you can always look at your multiplication table to figure out what 2 numbers those are. What 2 numbers, when you times them, are going to be 14. And we will say that the stretch your thinking is extra credit. Super work today, guys.